facilitation can be done on the ball and the bolster, but the bolster only moves in a one-directional way. So has there been anything that we've done that goes that way? No, absolutely not. Everything is in three-dimensional planes, all right? But if a kid can't deal with the 3 dimensions, it's an easy way to just work on lateral control or AP control. So again, it simplifies the problem for the kid. So there's times I work on bolsters, but very, very rarely, all right, coming from my facilitation NDT eye, all right, because they're too limiting, all right? Okay, everybody good on that? So usually I'm going to balls which move in 3 directions, any which direction I want it to go, all right? This little thing is called a peanut or a bolster ball, or each company has their own name. It combines the characteristics of the ball and slightly of the bolster, okay? Because this is only going to move in a more lateral direction, okay? So again, if I'm sitting across this here, okay, I can only move this way. I can move a little bit this way, okay? So it's better than the bolster, okay? But usually I have to switch around here to get this movement, all right? So again, but this cradles my butt, okay? So again, makes sitting a little bit easier than if I'm sitting on a ball where I quickly fall off the ball, okay? If I don't control where my weight is, okay? So I pick these things carefully, all right? The size of the ball makes a difference. The amount of inflation of the ball makes a difference, okay? If I'm working on sitting and just having them maintain sitting, and you're early sitters, what would I want with a ball? Very deflated, correct? Okay? If I have it very inflated, it's going to make it harder for me to maintain sitting balance, correct? Because again, I'm sitting up on a point. Okay? If I have a super inflated ball ready to pop burst, okay? I have this curved surface I need to sit on. Okay? If my goal is to weight shift in sitting, it changes which way I want to have it. Because if I have to push this squishy ball side to side, I have to use more force. Okay, if it's very inflated, it's going to make it very easy. The ball will shift very easily. Okay, so again, it depends. Hate to say it that way, guys. It depends on your goal. Okay, is it weight shifting ability? I'm going to switch the inflation. If it's just maintaining sitting, if I have the ball cradle it up and cushion them, support the pelvis, it's going to make it a lot easier. Okay? All right?
I have one thing to say about the ball.
They're not functional.
No, I'm not even going If you have a child on a ball, do not leave the child alone. We've got big trouble with a new therapist who was working for us and left the kid alone on the ball. The child had autism, and that was great. And she turned her back, and what happened is another kid in the classroom went and joined on the ball too, and that child got hurt. So when you're done with it, you have to always supervise your child on the ball. And when you are done, away, because you think it's fine, it is not. You can't just a teacher or an aide get rid of it and put it in a
Yeah, unless it's like on a chair or something where the ball can't be removed and they're sitting on it as a class chair. I think we have one in the closet here. But again, they have to be used carefully because kids will bounce on them. We used to do a exercise class for kids with asthma, and we brought them into our PT gym to teach them how to exercise safely with their asthma. We had to remove all balls from the room, okay, and all rolling stools. Can I have the rolling stool? Because they came flying into the room. Wow. And they come in, land on the ball, and do a full somersault. So now I have a kid with asthma and a cervical spine injury and concussions. So again, very cautious use of that, all right? So, all right, if I'm doing sit to stand, what size of the ball would I want? Higher's easier, okay? More inflation would be easier, because I can sort of bounce off of it, correct? All right? Versus if I go from a teeny, very undeflated ball, sit to stand would become very hard, right? Okay? So again, the size I'm going to use either to make it easier or harder, okay? Now for weight bearing on the upper extremities, okay? If I have a very low ball, okay, this probably, because it's so deflated, okay? Too big for this baby. I have the baby just here and the ball supporting them, so a small basketball, okay? The ball is taking most of the weight, okay? Versus I'm doing a handstand.
I don't understand that.
Weight bearing on the upper extremities.
Oh, like hands are on the ground.
That ball would be like.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't do that, or you would want them on a big ball?
So you want them on a bigger ball. So
No, like
your
that
legs
ball
are on
right
the
there
ball.
would just support
So they're using putting all their weight on their hands as opposed to that.
Yeah.
So you'd want a smaller.
If I don't want much weight on the arms, I'm going to use a smaller ball.
You want to.
Okay? If I want to increase the weight on the hands, okay, if the hands are up here, okay, I'm doing prone on extended arms. Okay? Probably don't have much weight on the arms. Okay? It's most into the pelvis. So usually I'm thinking about increasing the amount of weight bearing, like we talked about for quadruped, getting up on those upper extremities. This would be too hard for somebody that's having trouble with it. Okay?
Would you do that for a kid who has a seizure disorder?
Depends if
Saying,
depends if the upside down position aggravates their seizure disorder.
you have to check it out. So I'm just saying, those are the kind of things you should know about. I know what you're trying to bring in different scenarios with one.
Okay, so we're not going to do it today, but I want you to digest this over the week. So when we do it next week, I will go through it again, okay? So now we're going to do prone to sitting on the ball. Yeah, have fun. Have fun. You have to control the ball, the baby, and you. So that's why we don't start here, okay? But essentially, same hand placements, okay? So I'm over abdominals and glutes, okay?
Oh my god. We have to do that on each other.
So for this activity, do I want a big ball or a tiny ball?
Big ball.
A big ball, because I have a lot of room for error, right? Okay? But I would say challenge yourself to do it on the small ball. Your weight shifting has to be perfect, okay, on the little ball, all right? So essentially, driving the hip into the ball, so I'm thinking about getting them toward side lying, and then we're going to, so I can't take the baby here. So notice this changes a little bit, all right? So the intention is to weight shift them and get them on top of the ball. Okay, but the hand placements do not change. And I would say the trick to this, and the thing you have to keep thinking about, is pushing into the ball. The ball cannot squirt out of you, all right? If you're pushing into it, it can't do a squirt out, okay? Like, okay? If your baby does not wind up on top of the ball, they're gonna slide off the ball. You have not pushed in enough and got enough of a really tight weight shift.
It's
Okay.
deflated though. Like it's not.
If it's deflated, it'll make it harder for you.
Oh,
For
well, I don't
sure.
want that.
Sure. What? Makes it harder for you to facilitate prone to sit.
For what population would you do?
All right? Because you get a little too squishy and it doesn't roll as good for you. Okay? So essentially,
Yeah, like why would I ever do this? For what population would you do?
everybody.
I don't want to. Just more time. Just like an increase.
All right, so the question up here, guys, is coming. Why So why would I want to do it on a unstable surface? It's harder. They have to control themselves more. It's more unstable. It's unpredictable. I'm thinking about not being feedback. I'm thinking about them being feed forward. All right, if I sit them onto a stable surface, the stable surface says to them, stay still. Okay? Versus I put them up on a mobile surface, I have more capability of shifting this pelvis and get them to work on weight shifting, righting reactions, equilibrium reactions, protective reactions. Okay? So again, and kids love the balls. Okay? They love them. Okay? But you have to think, this is not functional. This is not what's going to be in the rest of their lives. Now maybe I would put something on their chair like a little Bosu cushion. Okay, that little discs. Okay, so I can give them something that has a little bit more mobility. But I have to think about them sitting in a classroom. It's a very rare teacher that can monitor the ball well enough to have it as a seating device in the classroom. Okay, they're usually extremely dangerous in the classroom. All right, because the kid that you want to use it is usually not the kid that's using it. And everybody else is using it as a gymnastics piece of equipment. All right? All right? Okay? So, we will start with that on next Friday. All right? So, bring therapy balls. Oh, sorry.
Might as well just.